Hey, what's going on, man? Today, we're diving into 10 highlights to show you how active listening will change your marriage for the better. A few years ago, my wife and I, we went through one of the worst storms ever in our marriage. And it seems like communication and connection were playing hide and seek. And between my wife and I, man, we were not working together to try and find them. Every issue we had, it made the other more and more of a target to be hit by soul-crushing words and amplified with the vicious tones. As we began to talk, divorce started playing around in our thoughts. And before we could pull the trigger, man, I thank God, I thank Jesus Christ that I was introduced into the concept of active listening, which is why it excites me to talk about it so much. And I want to share this with you, because maybe it can help you the same way if you're dealing with communication or connection issues in your marriage. So active listening helped me rebuild myself in order to rebuild my marriage, make it stronger. And today, I'm going to show you how you can do the exact same thing. I'm Darryl McGee, and welcome to the Grow Coaching Experience. So to start things off, the first highlight of active listening that I want to uncover is that it demonstrates respect. So active listening is the cornerstone of showing respect in your marriage. And when you're showing respect in your marriage by using active listening, it creates value and consideration towards your wife. So look, imagine this. You're talking to your wife, you're pouring your heart out, telling her your feelings, your thoughts. You're getting a lot off your chest. Then out of nowhere, you hear your wife bust out laughing. And as she looks up from her phone, she slaps you with the words, huh? What you said? What? You mean to tell me I just spent the last 30 minutes talking to you and you didn't hear nothing I said? Ain't that bought up? See, in this scenario, it leaves you feeling unappreciated and disrespected. But see, when you actively listening, the exact opposite happens. So husband and husband, keep this in mind the next time your wife is talking to you. Remember, it's not about hearing. It's about making her feel valued and appreciated. Number 2, active listening enhances understanding. Listen, you and I both know that we won't always see eye to eye with our wife. But by actively listening, the chances of you guys falling out and arguing will potentially lessen. By gaining deeper understanding of your wife's perspectives, you 1, minimize misunderstandings, and 2, you allow effective communication to reign in your relationship. When you seek to understand her view on something, you're stepping into her shoes. And doing that is like unlocking a secret code to deeper connection. Number 3, active listening creates space for open communication. The amazing part about this is when you listen and make your wife feel as though she can express herself, you don't have to force the right words or even try to conjure up the right words. The right words are going to flow to you. You'll be engaged fully from the thoughts that you have to your body language. And the fact that your communication is on 10, that's going to encourage your wife to be more honest, more transparent. And that right there is a recipe for a well-connected marriage. Number 4, active listening strengthens the emotional bond between you and your wife. We know that women are more emotional beings. And that got me thinking, what if we as husbands took better care of our wife emotionally more often? What if learning to listen to her gives us the emotional connection that's needed in our marriage? And when I say listen to her, I'm not saying that she bosses you around, give you orders and demands. What I'm saying is when she says something, we catch what she's saying and we catch the thing behind what she's saying, or basically what she's meaning. She could be saying that she wants to spend more time, but we may miss it because she's saying it in a special way. So we have to kind of tune our senses to the thing that she's saying or that she's meaning. Picture this. If you have 10 miles left in your car until you reach E. There's no reason for you to expect to go 30 more miles. That makes no sense. Until you give your car what it needs, it's not gonna make it. See, marriage is similar. We have to be so well connected with our wife that we know when she needs X, Y, Z. Failing to provide for her emotionally is failing to give her what she needs, which is emotional connection. And if we fail to give her the emotional connection that she needs, ultimately, we're just depleting our marriage and draining our marriage. One of the best skills that I learned to actually help you connect better with your wife is having empathy, which leads me to number 5. Active listening fosters empathy in marriage. Empathy is like the secret sauce in active listening. When giving your focus to the words that are flowing out of your wife's mouth, we have to do our best to get rid of distracting thoughts. And it can be tough. But once we get rid of those distracting thoughts, we have to focus on how she's feeling while talking. When you focus on the emotions and the feelings behind what she's saying, you can then share that feeling. And once you share that feeling, that connection is made. Now y'all can relate to each other. And this is when you don't have to think of the words to say to her. It's coming to you naturally because you guys are feeling the same. And this is what I mean by empathy. You're in her shoes. You're seeing it from her point of view. It's like you guys are in the boat together and getting that understanding. Active listening actually helps you apply this strategy. Because in order to be able to focus and relate to your wife, you have to be quick to listen. Number 6, active listening builds trust. I know you can agree that one of the main keys to open the door of a heavenly marriage is through trust. Trust is all about having confidence in and relying on someone. You have to know that they understand you and will do right by you. And the only way that can happen is by listening. I'm pretty sure that you would agree trust is built on actions, right? I want you to understand that before you can take action, you need to know what actions to take. Sometimes as husbands, we may drop the ball on building trust in our marriage simply because we may think our wife is nagging about something, when in actuality, it's just an opportunity for us to show up. For example, I'm pretty sure you've heard,
when I try to do something, you always too busy or you're too tired.
Or,
it seems like you'd rather do anything else than spend time with me. Really?
Yeah, she could have definitely said it a better way or in a different tone. But if we are the leaders and the men of our homes, then we shouldn't have to wait on our wives to get better for us to get better. When you consistently listen and show up, you send her a powerful message, letting her know that you're trustworthy. Number 7, active listening resolves conflict. Let me tell you, listening is one of the best, if not the best, way to resolve conflict. Hear me out. Okay, this is the key. I'm gonna give you the key. The key to it is listen to understand how she feels and why she feels that way, instead of trying to disprove what she's saying or trying to be right. I'm telling you, it took me a minute to get this one. It took me a little minute because when you're in an argument,
let it out, bro. Let it out.
You know, you already know. To my marriage, Jay, you already know.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Trust me. I still have my challenges with this in my marriage.
Okay.
Hey, you right.
You ain't never lied.
But what I want you to understand is when you listen to understand her and you get what she's saying, it relieves her. It relieves that tension. And when the tension is relieved, it naturally opens up a window or a door for you to say what you have to say. There's no need in barking bad or biting bad when she says something that you don't like. It's going to take practice. I'm telling you, it's definitely going to take practice. But trust me when I say this, it's the best way to go. So we have to remember, it's not about winning the argument. It's about understanding each other. Because you can win the battle momentarily, but be losing in your marriage. And that's not what we're going for. Number 8, active listening helps you have patience. Patience is needed in every area of life. And when it comes to marriage, one important tip to remember is to remain calm, especially when an argument happens. We have to stay calm, because as soon as we make that, everything's just gonna start collapsing. Trust me, I understand. It's easier said than done. But I got a question. Who said marriage was gonna be easy? If you can be patient during a conversation, then you can listen. And if you can listen, hey, you own something. Number 9, active listening helps you validate your spouse's feelings. Bruh, validating your wife's feelings is everything. When you acknowledge, then validate her feelings, it creates a space in your marriage where your wife feels loved, safe, secure, and accepted by you, the love of her life. And you may be thinking, well, what does validating and acknowledging her feelings even look like? Okay, I got you. Remember back on highlight 6 when I gave you the example of her saying, when I try to do something, you always too tired or you too busy to do it. Keep that in your mind, because this is what acknowledging and validating would look like for that. You may say something like, baby, I understand that you're frustrated and I want to make things right. Let's find a solution that works for both of us. And when you say, first of all, I want you to notice how positive that was. Instead of taking it as her nagging, you acknowledge how she was feeling. Yep. And then you validate it, like, okay, I get that you're upset and frustrated, but let's do something together. And the together part is important, because that's that connection being built. Let's do something together. Let's find a solution together that fits both of us. That's what acknowledging and validating looks like in your marriage. And another key thing too, no argument to be found in that. No argument at all. You know, I know some guys were like, well, you don't know my wife. But I'm telling you, acknowledge how she feels and validate it. I understand, baby, but let's do this then. Let's do this together. It's gonna simmer it down. It's gonna bring her down a few notches, and it created that space for connection, all by just listening to what she's saying. Number 10, active listening encourages mutual listening. It goes without saying that active listening is a two-way street, and it will be highly beneficial to you and your wife for you both to actively listen to each other and engage with each other. Active listening is not just simply a communication technique. It's a mindset shift. It's not just about taking turns talking. It's about prioritizing your spouse's thoughts and feelings just as much as your own. When both you and your wife feel heard and valued, it creates a marriage based on trust, respect, and understanding. As husbands, one way to encourage active listening to be mutual in your marriage is to lead by example. Be the change that you want to see in your marriage. Practice active listening consistently, and your wife will follow suit. Well, there you have it. The power of active listening in a nutshell. Husbands, I challenge you to put these practical tips into action. Remember, it's not about doing it perfectly. You don't have to be perfect in this. But it's about committing to that process and making progress, little bit by little bit. Hey, look, man, I appreciate you taking out the time to hear me out. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, subscribe. And as a token of my appreciation, I want to give you a free manual for the married man. 3 ways to handle arguments. Click the link in the description, enter your name, email, and boom, you got a few more weapons added to your arsenal. And with that being said, I pray love, understanding, joy, and peace in your marriage in Jesus' name. So, until next time, I'm Darryl McGee, and remember, a stronger you leads to a stronger family. Peace.